So that happened. Welcome back. That was an oopsie. That was a big oopsie. Oh my goodness. We can talk about it, but you cannot go back there. I've deleted all copies of the video from my channel, as well as the thousands of views that the video got. It's gone. We don't need that. There probably was a way I could have trimmed it down and saved a lot of that, but I apologize. What happened in court was evidence was presented in court that that was not fit for YouTube consumption. It did not meet the YouTube Terms of Service Agreement. And as such, as soon as I saw that, we killed the channel, deleted the video, and it's back. So we had a technical error, as Jake says. We had a technical error. As part of this, Amber Lucas, being first in chat as we have restarted the stream here, Amber, you have won the internet for the afternoon. Congratulations. It's yours. I think Golden Mom had it previously, and she'll go ahead and just email it over to you. It's your responsibility to take care of everything IP-related worldwide as the winner of the internet until we go live again and regift it to someone else. So yeah, that was a whoops. I thought someone was joking when they said what this the defendant was doing on the. It was a little tiny monitor. Well, it was a larger monitor in front of the attorney, and he was playing a video on that monitor. And we saw it from a side angle, but after you guys said what you thought you saw, I went back and checked, and sure enough, there was less than the needed amount of clothing involved in the picture, and that's what happened. So no, we don't have a verdict yet. Welcome back. Hopefully you rung the bell this time. Is it time? Not quite, but we're on verdict watch. Not sure if we can go back to watch Young Thug do his thing in court. I'm hesitant to show that. Was that intentional on the court side? Are they going to get doinked by YouTube? No, Christian, definitely not. I mean, it was shown on a YouTube channel. Other channels showed that. For instance, let's see, who is this that we were watching here? Let me take a quick look here. This was shown on a news channel, 11 Alive showed that. I believe that's a news channel. They've got 1 million subscribers, and they just showed some good old video on that. So yeah, we were sharing that and discussing the events as they happened, and had zero warning because the audio was off. We had zero warning that was taking place. Could be why everyone was chuckling in the courtroom. Oh, the many puns to be shared with this. Yes, hopefully we've learned our lesson, and hopefully we've learned the lesson. Candy Crush anybody? Really? Seriously. My family's home, so hopefully the burglar's gone. I wasn't expecting sweet at first until the hot hit. Sonny is trying the pickles. These pickles are delicious. I'm telling you, I would not lead you astray on such an important matter. What Sonny is talking about is the spicy maple bourbon pickles that you can buy at Walmart. They're Sam's Choice brand, and you can buy them. Hunt for them. They're worth it. They are an incredible pickle. It's not as sweet as a sandwich pickle, although I would definitely put it in the sandwich pickle category. But the heat and then the aftertaste of the maple, it's just it's a flavor explosion on your tongue, and it's just amazing. It's so much fun. I'm glad you enjoy them, Sonny. Never a dull moment around here. Debbie, be glad you missed it. Be glad you missed it. Yes, we've tried to hide all the evidence. And yeah, how was your lunch, AJ? Good. What did I miss? Nothing. That guy. Nothing. We just had a little whoopsie where in court they were showing a live stream of some evidence in the Young Thug case, which might have been more fitting for the evidence that might be shown in, say, like the OnlyFans model trial. But he was doing his thing with his thing. That's what we had. Apparently, Young Thug has a tiny showing in court. You're talking about supporters, right, Lori? That the supporters has definitely shrunk. There's been some shrinkage involved there. It's awful. All this jumping around is making me dizzy. At least I remembered to like this version when I came in. Hey, it went south fast, and we had to fix it. That's not what our channel's about here. Yeah, the feed coming from that courtroom is still not. I almost used some terms that are appropriate for talking about the feed, but I realized that anything I say right here will be taken as a joke, so I'm not going to talk about that. I didn't see nothing. Me either. It's gone. If you want to watch it, you can go back on the Live 11 and watch it there because it's still up. Nothing to worry about. I called the non-emergency line to report my open structure. Thank you, Chandra. We should be good. They have maple bourbon syrup. That sounds delicious as well. Man, these pickles are well worth it. I'm thinking maple bourbon is a combination. Me not being a drinker, obviously. Spicy maple bourbon is a combination that is just phenomenal. I'm not sure exactly what bourbon tastes like because I've never tried it, but the combination with pickles is really good. Yeah, nothing big. You got it. We're talking about tiny gherkins. That was earlier, Lori. That was about the Christmas party. They had tiny gherkins there. My streaming application to YouTube hit a snag and will take an indefinite amount of time to fix. Richard, every time I've run into a snag there and I've gone through the process they've asked me to do, whether it's like reapply or something, it's gone much quicker. So hopefully they will fix it. Murray, you didn't miss much. You had to basically, some of you were looking for it. Basically, you were looking for it. I thought it was a rap video that was being shown, but it was more of I believe the homemade variety. Yep, we're live. We're all good. It's sorted out. Thank you for coming back. Appreciate it. Love that sweet and spicy and savory. It is delicious. Heavy snow coming down now. Drive safely in the Northeast. It's still a little bit rainy outside where I'm at, so that's where we're at. Texas v. Aaron Dean. Do we do another poll? We've asked several times what everyone thinks, and right now we're probably about 55-45 is the split on what everyone thinks as far as what the jury will come back with, the guilt or innocence. Or I guess we're 55-45 split as to whether the jury was going to be hung in this case. Lindsay, it was a mistake, but evidence is evidence, and if it's pertinent to whatever charges he's facing, it gets shown in court. So it's one thing you've got to know when you say, "Hey, I'm willing to be a juror." You might see things you don't want to see. KKD says, "I don't understand. The speed of light is much faster than the speed of sound, but your audio gets here faster than the video." Let me take a look at this. Test 1. Yep. What I can do to fix it is a little bit frustrating. Let me show you what I do. I go right here and I do this. and that makes it better, right? Did that fix it? Because in my head now I hear an echo of myself. I added 5 milliseconds of delay to the channel, and it'll drive me insane. I have to get rid of that. It's like hearing an echo of yourself just a little bit after. No echo there. It's the echo I hear of myself. The sound is the same for you guys. It just doesn't sync up with my lips in the stream. If you're trying to read my lips, you'll notice the sound is a tiny bit off. Like you hear me first, and then my mouth makes the motion. Jury needs to get on with it and come back with a verdict. We agree. We agree. I just fixed it for a little bit, KQD. I set it back to how it was because the way I monitor my own audio, I hear myself delayed. I could fix that by, I have to think. I'd have to run everything through my soundboard first and then into it. I can fix it for the next stream. So I can sync up my lips with the audio so there's not that problem on your end, because that would be frustrating for me. We'll fix it so it's nice for everybody. It's like watching a dubbed over foreign film. Yeah, 8 milliseconds of delay should fix it. But what I'm going to do, basically, this gets techie. Maybe Richard will appreciate this. But what I have is my audio is going through the soundboard and then being fed into a mic input on my switcher. I'm monitoring my sound on my switcher. But because I'm converting the video into HDMI, there's about an 8 millisecond delay on the video process. So what goes out to you, or what I see on my screen, is actually about 8 milliseconds behind when it actually happened. Now there's even more delay because you're watching on YouTube, but the sync has to do with the fact that my audio is coming in and isn't being delayed. So I could fix it one of two ways. I could run my microphone through my camera so that the video it's seeing is synced with the audio it's receiving at the same time, and then it comes in, it's in sync. But then I don't get to use this awesome soundboard. Or I could run everything through my soundboard and then run it and monitor my sound through my soundboard and then run it through my switcher. And that's what I'm going to try to do on the next stream. As per WFAA, I think it's FAA, Miss L, jury just had pizza delivered for lunch. Jurors have had no questions today. So they got evidence yesterday. They said, give us the whole cart. Wheel everything into the jury deliberation room with a lifetime supply of Post-it notes for each juror, and then just feed us, and we're good. Yeah, it's a little bit of a PIA, but we'll make it work. What were the toppings, really, and where was the pizza from? Is this like San Francisco sourdough pizza, where they had, like a barbecue chicken pizza, or is this Chicago-style stuffed crust? I mean, what? New York style, big pan? I would have demanded steak. Really, deliberation is hard work. I need good food to give my best when I'm deliberating. I don't need audio anymore after practicing with the mute trial. I'm good. Yeah, I can just make up whatever is being said. Any updates? No, Ashley, unfortunately not. We know that the jury got lunch, and that's about it. They're still discussing. Question number 1: do you have anchovies? Not on pizza. Anchovies are for bait for fishing, I believe. Am I wrong? Prove me wrong. Need that explanation in a podcast I can use to fall asleep. Marie, yeah, I realize it's a little deep in the weeds there, but a couple people were noticing the sync is just a little bit off on my voice. Maybe if I move the microphone up like this so you can't see my voice, then it's not as noticeable. Would that be better? Make it Wagyu, I think. No anchovies here. I use shrimp for bait, says Roxanne. Shrimp is a great bait, but it's also, what I like about shrimp is you get the pre-cooked shrimp, and then you have the tray of shrimp, and you eat one, and then you put one on the hook, and you eat one, you put one on the hook, and that works well for me. Anchovies are the base of many delicious sauces and dressings. so we can't see your voice. Sorry, I'll move it again. Toxic, you are the only person who does not like pizza. Correctly identified that. ASMR is members only. That's going to be one of the perks. We're going to have a membership. You get the ASMR stream later. Did you give up lunch today? I think so, Pauline. Judge didn't give me one, so I'm just going with what we've got. Did you go to the North Carolina Fair this year and try the pickled pizza? No, Jake. That sounds delicious. I did not go to the fair. I should have. I had some buddies who were there who were doing were displaying some Indian artifacts, and I think they were mostly homemade. What's it called when you make an arrowhead? They're like the people who make the arrowhead. I can't remember. The napping. It's nap work, right? When they nap arrowheads. Anyway, they do a lot of that. Shrimp used in ice fishing, you can, for sure. Trout love it. Cold water fish love it. It's also good for catfish. Catfish are a little more sluggish through the ice, but you can get them. I'm not sure how well it would work for things like, like walleye or pike, which typically need a live bait because they're very, very wary fish. But yeah, shrimp work really well for trout. Shrimp is the only bait I feel comfortable putting on a hook. Live shrimp, Lindsay, would you do a live shrimp? And it flies off. Okay, so you're putting it on wrong if it flies off. There are ways you can put shrimp on to make it stay. Still on a verdict watch, Christine. We're sitting here at over 12, almost 13 hours. Hey, what? What do you mean? What did you hear? Okay, Mrs. R.A. just found out what happened to the morning stream. She's like, I'd leave you for 5 minutes. And that's what happens. Yeah. Mrs. R.A., I'm starving to death. If you found any, if there are any cinnamon rolls left. A cinnamon roll, that's a good one. DiGiorno has breakfast pizza. They have cinnamon roll. I'm mainly here to be by the water, not to actually fish. Love being by the water, but fishing is fun as well for me. She could bring you lunch. She could, if she chooses to. Just a suggestion, as you aren't here Saturday, maybe we see some pics sent by viewers. Right now, I could put it together. It probably would be better for tomorrow. I don't have anything lined up for tomorrow. So we might do a weekend recovery early on Friday. Christine, you missed a little bit of Young Thug's trial. We picked that up as we were waiting for the jury to come back with a verdict. And some evidence was presented in Young Thug's trial that is not suitable for YouTube. And it was shown. It was shown on a monitor at an angle that we were watching from an angle. Initially, didn't realize what was on there, and some of our more astute observers pointed out that he was doing his thing in the video, and so we called a quick quit to the live stream, and I deleted it all because I don't want that on my channel. And so now we're not going back to the live stream, even though it is there, and there's arguments being made. Maybe if they stop showing evidence, we can join again, because it was getting interesting before it got a little risque. I almost drove Red Lobster out of business when they had their all-you-can-eat Alaskan crab legs. Oh, my goodness, Richard. All-you-can-eat Alaskan crab legs. They are so expensive nowadays. So expensive. Going to, like at Sam's Club, the frozen crab legs are like $80 for a small package. Just got back. Has there been a verdict? No. We might have a hung jury. They are apparently asked for evidence yesterday, and they definitely got Post-it notes. Not sure what they're doing other than that. They just got pizza for lunch, according to WFAA, and now we sit and wait as they consume the pizza. The requirement to work has arrived. Hope to get back when the verdict is in. Well, Shannon, you might be back before the verdict is in. You missed a little bit of Young Thug. Yes, a very little bit of Young Thug was observed. The trial went north of south. It went south of north is what happened. Yeah, there's lots of this in chat. It was appalling to me, and I appreciate you guys being patient as I abruptly killed the stream and deleted all the evidence. Excellent wife makes cinnamon rolls from scratch. Terrible wife doesn't let you have any. I heard it was no big deal. That's a lot of people said that. It ain't no thing. It was a little risque. I will say I didn't look close enough. As soon as I could identify that it was not what I wanted on my stream, I stopped it. So there may have been worse than what I saw. It was a tiny bitty moment in time. What about the poll? We haven't done a poll here on this live stream. We're still, I think the last poll we did was 54 to 45 on whether or not the jury would come back hung. If he gets convicted, it'll be because the defense being absolutely useless yesterday, says nobody's fault but mine. Love that name, by the way. Thanks for coming back. They've had moments of brilliance. Like there's at times when they're opening and closing, they were really good. But it's like they forgot that they have the opportunity to complain, to basically perform an objection, while the prosecution is running roughshod over their witnesses. Bella says, I got the last 2 jars of maple bourbon pickles. Going to give one to my son tonight for his birthday. That is a great present. Your son will love you forever. Probably best present he ever gets. It will change his life. I'm a bit confused how Aaron Dean can be out here with a gun when he has been only 18 months in law enforcement altogether. Marie, they're given a gun at day one. It's not something they work up to. A police officer on the street, once they pass police academy, first of all, they do live rounds and training in police academy. But once they pass police academy or on the job, they're required to carry a gun from day one. If they showed up to work without their gun, they could be reprimanded or fired. You miss it, have bad eyesight. Brenda, I'm glad you missed it. Remember to reload that thumbs up button. Subscribers continue to grow. Congrats. 3.64 subscribers. That's amazing. That's really cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys being here. I've been trolling other court chats telling people to come here, says Jake. Wonderful. I appreciate you, Jake. I owe you, man. It's been awesome. You guys are amazing. Okay, so what do you think? Pizza right now for the jury? Are they thinking, what should we have for dinner? Or are they thinking, yeah, well, I'll be home for dinner? A bit disheartening now that we hear that. Yeah. Douglas, we're still on verdict watch. We know the jury got lunch and they're having pizza. Anne would have voted Chinese over the pizza. I'm a big fan of Chinese as well. I would say this. Pizza is good and it fills you up and it's a tasty food and I don't have any problem with it. But Chinese is an experience, right? Eating Chinese, especially with chopsticks, which actually makes it taste better, I think. It's an experience. AJ, it's because of you, Scott, your personality and being so friendly and kind and funny. You've already got loyal fans and a fan base growing. Well, thank you, AJ. Those are some really kind words. But honestly, the community here that came and joined and invited friends is incredible. I've never experienced anything like this, and you guys are amazing. It would not be the same without you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Brenda. No freebies around here. Sorry about that. Baked spaghetti in a cast iron skillet. Baked spaghetti. That could be good. If it was a DP case, they could get Tombstone pizza and write the verdict on the Tombstone pizza box. That would be good. We're back, but not in trial yet. Ginger, we actually, a lot of you are coming back because you got a notification. You might have been present here in the morning. We had a little a little issue as we popped in to watch another trial that's in progress, and they ended up showing on a monitor that was somewhat visible to our camera angle some inappropriate material that was presented as evidence in that trial. Because it aired and we were taking that here, we cut the stream, and I deleted the video because that doesn't belong on my channel, and then we restarted. And when we restarted, because all of you have been amazing and ring the bell, you got a notification, and that's why you're like, hey, where's the verdict? So I apologize. Yeah, it was the young thug trial that we saw a little bit more than we should. Ann McCord says, I'm glad I found you. Good talk while I'm playing my game. I'll just leave it at that. And wonderful. Thanks for being here. Douglas says, I couldn't eat yesterday or today for the procedure this morning. That's awful. I hate it when they make you fast before a procedure. So perfect topic considering I'm about to shove groceries down my neck. My daughter and her husband had me make baked spaghetti, as I used to say as a kid, spaghetti, when they were here last weekend. It's delicious. That's good food. Canadian Chinese food is like American Chinese food, a replication of a replication of a replication. Jim, I agree. I like authentic Chinese food, and by that I mean, you know, where you get a Chinese family that they speak Chinese, they don't speak English, right? They come here, they make food the way they've always made it, and you have to order in their language. You know, it's you're pointing at the menu, and it's just delicious. I like that. I also have a weak spot for Panda Express, the honey walnut shrimp. Really, that's it. The honey walnut shrimp. The rest of it is good. I'll do the orange chicken, things like that. But the honey walnut shrimp is where it's at. I remember I went to they opened a Panda Express here in my town just recently, and I drove down there. I'm all excited. Big grand opening sign and everything. I pull up in the drive-through because that's normally what I do. I do a drive-through. And then I park and I eat it in my car. I'm not sure why, but for some reason I'd rather eat in my car than in the fast food dining restaurant. So I pull up in the drive-through, and they're like, "Hi, welcome to Panda. Can I take your order?" type thing. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want the large side, a plate, and I want 3 sides basically." And so I'll have the chow mein, and I'll have 3 orders of honey walnut shrimp basically. And they're like, we don't have any. I'm like, this is your grand opening, and you don't have any of one of your main items. Are you stealing my?
I am. Do you want some taquitos?
Oh yes, I would love some food. Thank you. Anyway, so they said we don't have any. They don't have any honey walnut. I'm like, okay, so I realize it's probably popular and you ran out. So like, okay, I'll have some orange chicken. They're like, I'm sorry, we don't have any orange chicken. Like, okay, I'll just have a couple egg rolls. We don't have any egg rolls. I'm like, what do you have? Really? How about, instead of me trying to guess, why don't you tell me what 2 items you have left on the menu? I'll see if I like them, and I'll order them. But eventually, they had almost nothing. I'm like, I don't think you're ready to open yet. I got rickrolled trying to show the Young Thug trial. Yeah, if I had the ability to edit that part out, I would have, but... Franco says, I'd like to put on the record I called hung jury from the very beginning. Franco, we're coming around. A lot of us are coming around to agree with you. Mrs. R.A. stole the iPad smart keyboard to use on another iPad. So I need to plug it back in again. Okay. I hope the maple and the pickles is real, from a former longtime resident of New Hampshire, sorry. I don't know if it is, Richard, but it's a very faint flavor, and it tastes good. It tastes good. I mean, I haven't had enough of the real maple syrup to know. I'm not a real connoisseur of syrup, but I'd say it's worth a test. It's worth a try. Daughter-in-law is Vietnamese and a wonderful cook. Going there tonight for pho. Or pho, how do you say that? That's the sticky stuff you roll in your hand, right? Is that the food? Thai food in America is awesome. Thai food in Thailand tastes like fish heads and hot sauce. Yeah, some things we improve on, right? We tend to like it the way we have it. Now I want spring rolls. That's the only thing they didn't have those in stock. No egg rolls. Seriously, how can you have Chinese food without egg rolls? You might as well not have a fortune cookie either at that point. Getting my tires changed over to winter tires right now. It's snowing here, says Tiffany Marie. The true procrastinator to me, maybe wait till the snow hit. Well, at least you're getting it done. You'll be good to go here in a few minutes. I remember having studded snow tires on the family cars growing up. And I think we kept them on year round, which made a fun sound on the roads. Not sure if that's legal or not, but I think we did. I don't think we'll be getting any hung jury in the Young Thug trial. No worries. It's a brothy soup. Okay, so what am I thinking of with maybe it's the African food that it's like a very sticky, it's like almost like bread dough, but if you roll it in your hand, you pop it in your mouth or something. I had that over in England. I don't remember if I liked it or not. I might have blocked that memory out, so it might be awful. Can't do egg rolls. They smell weird. They're good with soy sauce, but I can't eat them alone. Canadian maple syrup is really good. Ann McCord, I'm going to have you prove that to me. I'll get you a P.O. box and send me some. Sounds delicious. I think the jury might be having some issues. I've changed my vote to not guilty, says Julie Baxter. Strictly, is that a factual-based change, or are you just changing that based on, I think that's what they're going to vote as, based on the time they're out? I'm curious, Julie. Or have you actually swung your personal opinion to the not guilty side? They call it pup in South Africa. It's maize, so it's like from corn. I thought it was flour, but I know it's like a Newtonian fluid is what I seem to remember it as. Whereas if you hold it slowly, it's like gets sticky all over your hands. But if you roll it quickly in your hands, it doesn't. Since I reset the stream, I went and got some pickles, and I'm eating them while I watch. Just wanted to torture. I mean, wanted you to know. Yes, thank you, Colvar. Appreciate you making the trip back. Maple syrup taffy will change your mind about how good maple syrup can be. Is it like you eat it as a candy? I mean, it's taffy as a candy, not with something else. Because syrup for me, I can't just like do a spoonful of syrup. I have taquitos, fresh from the microwave. I believe these are chicken taquitos in flour tortillas. I would have to get my friend come Canada and send it to you. He sent it to me for Christmas last year. Yeah, we need some people up north to hook us up with the maple syrup connection. You overboil maple syrup, which thickens it, if I understand right, Jim, and laid out in snow makes a great taffy. Yeah, that sounds good. Drop it in the snow and eat the lump. Michigan maple taffy. Clean snow. It sounds fascinating. When you say overboil, is it very thick at the time you've overboiled it? Because I know a lot of the authentic maple syrup I've tried seem to come in more on the runnier side than what I traditionally think of as syrup. Okay. Did Miss Zari bring me food? Yes, she did. She brought me some taquitos, which I'm going to try to eat. So they're very hot right now. I will burn myself, and you'll see me dancing around looking for water. It basically turns into sugar. Do you have to smuggle Canadian maple syrup back into the States? Do they have like a restriction on how much you can send back? Are they protecting their natural resources that way? Let's see. I'm going to try to get another Aaron Dean feed pulled up just to make sure. We've got two going already, and we have not yet returned to the courtroom. But Still nothing. All right. I would assume you're boiling off the water is like dehydrating the syrup. Yeah, I'm just wondering how thick it is. I mean, if it's like a, can you turn the pan upside down and then the right side up and it doesn't spill because it takes a while to shift? Is it that thick? Like, or are we talking like lava right before it hardens type thickness, or something more watery? Still no verdict, Celine. Yeah, we're still waiting. I'm thinking hung maybe. I just don't know. Pretty much caramel thick. Okay. And then letting that cool rapidly in the snow. That's pretty good. So, Cullivar, my wife introduced me to caramel popcorn. And I had caramel popcorn as a kid, but I was always bought it. It was already pre-made. It was cold. It was hard and crunchy, and bad for my teeth and everything else you'd expect. But she makes caramel popcorn on the stove from scratch, and so you're stirring this pot of yummy, delicious stuff, and the temperature. That's like a 3-second period where you have to suddenly add, I forget what it is, some sort of baking soda or something. But you have to add it, and it boils up. It like completely changes, and it's like boiling molten lava. And then you pour it over all the popcorn all at the right moment, and it is unbelievable. It's like all the stuff you buy at the store, the Cracker Jack garbage, it doesn't even come close to what she makes. She is amazing. "100% hung jury. Not guilty. It was a draw. Both were armed." Right. I'm at this point, Six. I'm sort of asking, what do you think the jury's going to do? I realize that's where you stand. That's your opinion. I've been there as well. I'm not sure where I stand now. I've thought about it so many different ways and tried to reset, erase from my mind all my previous opinions and tried to look at it from the other side. And both sides, as I do that, are reasonable. I can come to the conclusion on both sides of this one, which makes it really tough for me to decide because it's a tough situation. What do you think the jury's going to do? 6-volt. What do you think they're going to come back with? Sean White, too soon, man. Good joke though. I like your wife. She makes good stuff. I like her as well, Anne. She is amazing, and I like her more than just because she makes good stuff. She's a very smart person and a fun person to be married to. I wish she'd do a presentation on making that on her YouTube channel. I can try to talk her into it. I would be the cameraman, and we'd have to. I mean, our kitchen isn't really set up to do like a cooking show, but I might be able to rig it up. Are they going for first degree? And when we're talking about first degree murder in Texas is a first degree felony. Manslaughter is a second degree felony, but they're not going for the death penalty. Capital murder in Texas could carry the death penalty if they try for that, but they have not. They're not. Capital would require like killing 2 people in the same crime type thing. And there's some other ways you can get to capital murder as well. But this incident doesn't meet those standards. It doesn't rise to that level. So they're not going for the death penalty. They're either going for murder or manslaughter. I'll have to send you the recipe to make fire cookies for her. They're hard to make. They're spicy heat. She doesn't do a lot of spicy food. She's not huge into the spicy food. That's more me. Sonny, I feel your pain. Those pickles are amazing. If you haven't tried them, I'm not twisting anyone's arm. I don't make any money off you buying those pickles. I will tell you that. I wish I did, because they're that good. And I think I could become rich convincing people to eat them, because once you start eating them, you're gonna want more, and you'll realize that jar of pickles that you thought would be huge, that would be way more than you needed, it's really just a single serve package, single serving, and they go way too fast. I will say unless you really like heat, do not eat the chili peppers that are in there. They are just straight heat. They're saying there's a verdict. Jake, verdict is in. Verdict is in. Whoo! Yay, finally. I'm seeing that on WFAA as well. We have had some snafus in the past where the verdict was announced when it wasn't quite ready, in the last trial particularly, in Ortiz. Let's see what we've got. Let me take this one full. Okay. Just checking for confirmation from another source. I can see that the WFAA on their splash screen has a message that says the verdict is in. 2:30 would give us an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, wait. No, 15 minutes. Yep, Law and Crime just tweeted as well. Kathy Russin says verdict reached in Texas via Aradine in the death of Anita Jefferson. Watch live. We will do that. Want to see if Fox 4 picks this up as well. Let's listen in just really briefly to WFAA just to hear what they're saying here.
On the phone with Rebecca Lopez when the bailiff came out and said they have a verdict and that we're going to hear that verdict at 2:30. We're going to find out. This jury's been deliberating.
If they have a verdict,
12 and a half hours. My
that's
math
different
skills
from
are
not
kind
being
of,
able to reach a verdict, which means they're not.
And so
they're not a hung jury. Do you guys agree with that?
One question. One question.
Do you guys agree? If they say they have a verdict, that means they're not hung, right? There's no way they're hung. Left for 10 minutes and boom, there you go. They just wanted the free pizza. They reached the verdict this morning. Lexi, I think you're onto something there. They're like, can we have more of that pizza we got the other day? Okay, so I'm glad the judge gave us just a little bit of a heads up in 15 minutes. That's I think that's appropriate. I wasn't a big fan of what the judge did in the Ortiz case. They will be eating steak tonight, or Dean will. Maxine, not guilty. She's hot on the right, says Stoney. A couple of you just come to look at the lawyers and the judges in here. You know that. They definitely held out for pizza. Yay, we're here. Got here just in time. I'm going to edit this and say verdict reached. There we go. And we'll put out a community post as well. I think I can do that. So that anyone who might not be on the live stream right now will just get a little heads up. Okay. Trying to get there, create a post. Text. Sorry, as I type, I can't type and talk at the same time. All right. It's nerve-wracking. Yes, we're there. Okay, but there's nothing to see yet. We still don't have any feed from the courtroom. There's nowhere we can get that quite yet. We're watching everywhere we can for it. Let me just pull up another stream to check. Trying to remember, it was Fox 4 that had it before. Let's see if they have anything. And they don't have it either. All right. Hey, Culvar, none of that. I think the length of deliberation was to sort out the charge. Negligent homicide and guilty would be my guess. It'll be interesting. I don't know. And if it is guilty, let me ask you this question: if it does come back with a guilty, either on murder or manslaughter, do they have grounds for an appeal because of possible witness coaching? Is that an issue? Verdict is in. It's pickles. I'm here. They can read it now. Little Miss says we're ready. Manslaughter, 10 years, parole in 7. The soonest he could get parole is in 5. He has to serve half the sentence before he's eligible for parole in Texas. Culvar says innocent on all charges. Who got coached? That would be allegedly Zion, the young boy, the 11-year-old boy. That happened early on in the trial. Day 1, the judge had to call someone up out of the gallery and say, I've noticed you've been making hand gestures to the witnesses. They're sitting here on the stand getting questioned. And he said, can't have that. So I'm going to swear you in as a potential witness, which means you are not allowed to be in the courtroom, and you can wait it out in the witness room. It ain't no big thing. Verdict reached. How about another poll? Should we do a poll right beforehand and see if we guess right? You did catch me in the middle of my lunch. I'm trying not to let the taquitos get too cold because they're not nearly as good when they're cold. But it's coming in right now. The verdict is, we've got maybe 10 minutes until it gets read in court. Hopefully we have a live stream beforehand just so we can make sure the audio issues are all sorted out. Let's do a quick poll here. Add one more option here. I'm leaving hung jury off because I think that's not an option here if they have reached a verdict. Okay, polls up. Manslaughter is what worth a rewatch? Oh, he was a sweet guy. Yeah, I would definitely go back and watch Zion's testimony. That is something I would definitely recommend to everybody. If nothing else, I would watch it and then compare it to the testimony or the responses he gave when he was questioned at the juvenile center, right, the night of the murder. I'm running out of desk space. Trying to find a place to put my taquitos that will keep them safe and still within arm's reach. Yeah, lunch, we'll clear that off here. Let me show you what WFAA is showing right now. That's right here.
We're still feeling the effects of that.
I'm gonna kill their audio just because I don't want their talking heads. But it looks like people are coming into the courtroom. The camera is coming on. Let me double check all my other feeds to make sure they're up to the moment, and they are. Okay, So that's the first feed we have. It looks like people are just milling around in the courtroom right now. Do you think there's going to be an outburst? Did you eat your crusts of the taquitos? The whole thing is crust. So yes, I did. Do you think there's going to be an outburst if it's a not guilty? There's family packed inside the courtroom. Ignore that 200 people are watching me eat taquitos. Don't think about it. Yeah, it's all over my face, right? Pickles will remain. Okay, so verdict's coming in here in just a minute. Let's see what we've got on the different streams. The closest thing we have here is from WFAA with this view, and it's just the camera panning around. I don't think they should be showing this unless the judge is on the bench. Typically, the orders are that the camera has to be turned off unless the judge is here. So looks like outside the church near the house. No, that the stream, that I think that's in the courtroom. You think that's in the hall? I think that guy's praying. I'm not going to listen in right now, but let's see. Outbursts regardless. Someone will get to yell. Someone will yell like at Brooks' trial, right? So if it's guilty, they're going to say like, "Yeah, rot in jail" type thing, and if he's not guilty, they'll yell more at the process and the attorneys and the judge and the jury, I guess, as well. But still waiting for audio. I'm gonna turn it on just a bit. I don't want the talking heads. That's not what I want. But
apply to everyone and not segregated. We just want to say thank you right now, and we know by us standing here, the verdict is clear, and you're going to announce the verdict. Let the heart of the people be seen. Let the heart and the minds of the people be heard and understood in a time such as this. So we just want to say thank you, and when we walk into this courtroom, we're walking in to see justice performed, not just to see injustice, because injustice should be reformed, not justice. Thank you right now. And we're saying this for everybody. Everybody is wanting this to be the way it should be, because there's too many lives being lost today.
I don't
Too
know who
many
this gentleman
times
is.
that those lives that are lost are swept under the rug. Not because of the one who did it, but because of the systemic government.
So this is right outside the courtroom, I
Everybody's doing the same
believe.
thing we've been taught to do. But it's time to kind of break the mold and travel in that way of truth, in that way of justice, and let it be seen that here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Wow. Okay, so
Okay,
that's
I'm
what's
up.
going on outside the courtroom.
Okay, so yeah, folks, Meredith, we're back up. We're both just sitting here. We're 6 minutes out. You can see that there are obviously a growing crowd outside that courtroom as people are waiting to be let in the court.
Yeah, so we've got just a moment here. We're waiting. There's no live stream from inside the court yet. We haven't seen the judge. We haven't seen anything. The camera has not come on. But we are told that in 6 minutes, in 5 minutes now, the verdict is going to be read. Obviously, all those people outside the courtroom are going to be let in moments. They'll probably have moments, and probably once as soon as they come in, we're going to start having that live feed available to us. Got to love the gospel preaching. I do love that that style. It is inciting emotional unrest. Just my thoughts, says Lori. I've seen some of that, especially on some of the social medias. Let me go ahead and end the poll while we can here right now, because I see the number 50% on the screen, where 50% say guilty of manslaughter, 42% not guilty, and 7% say guilty of murder. So now the majority by far is leaning on the guilty side. Yep, news report in Discord. No pickles and no peace. I'm not sure if I could. Excuse me. I don't think I could adopt that saying, but I like it a little bit. Made it back just in time, Van. Yeah, the verdict is going to be read in just moments. I'm waiting for the court feed right now. You got your popcorn and pickles ready. The group here, in the community here in chat, is leaning towards guilty. And I've been back and forth on this one, so I really have to pick a side now and stick to it. Can you get a police scanner feed for the area? Let me see if I can do that. I'll bring that up in the background, Richard. Just 1 second. We're in Fort Worth. What's the county? Is that Tarrant County? Okay, there's Tarrant. I've got Grapevine. Is Grapevine the same? We've got Arlington Fire, Tarrant County, Grapevine. So Grapevine's the same. Let me go ahead and bring this one in just in the background, just so we can listen in case something happens. That's an ad, sorry. An ad for Belvedere vodka, too. Great for the Recovery Addicts channel, right? Okay, so we've got the stream happening in the background. The police scanner you hear is the Grapevine Police, Fire, and EMS live stream for that. Great advice, Richard. Great question. Hopefully this is the right one. We can get some good stuff here. I'm trying to watch everything all at once, but it's not working. Just Macy, I think you're down there, says just drove past the house. Large group here. Johnny Law says, I'm pro-police and everything, but he needs to be held accountable. If a little, needs to be held accountable a little. If I had more choices with less consequences, I would have went with that. So maybe it didn't rise in your mind to manslaughter, but maybe there should have been some sort of penalty, right? Okay. AJ comes in with a super chat saying, thank you for hanging with us during Verdict Watch. AJ, thank you for the support of the channel. You're amazing. We do have a good group here. Thank you so much. Mac, I'm not going to click on your comment. It's too soon. Okay, all I can say is we had a little snafu earlier. We had a little snafu. I'm going to take the feed from WFAA again. They're outside the courtroom still. A lot of people waiting to get in. You can tell they're anxious. There's a lot of anxiety. 396D. That's the courtroom we're waiting for.
We're tired of being cowards.
Yes, yeah, I just checked.
Okay.
Immediate family first, he's saying. So they're opening the doors right now. Sean White comes in and says, Merry Christmas and Happy Verdict Day. It is. We've waited a long time for this. I'm going to go ahead and kill the audio here, just because the talking heads are a little much. We'll watch what's happening. It is Verdict Day, Sean. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Order in the courtroom, please. Lots of media. Lots of media present. The judge has said that, I believe he said that the media room opposite this courtroom looks like mission control with all the cameras and equipment and everything set up, where most of the television stations that are taking this and recording this feed are doing their work. I'm a bit disheartened by everyone predicting an uproar. The fear of riots shown in 2020 and 2021 are not the same. This is an injustice through and through, says Lindsay. I hope there isn't an uproar. I really hope there isn't. It's going to be bad tonight and this weekend if it's not guilty. Some people are saying that. There are tweets out there, if you go on Twitter, that are basically saying if it's not guilty, and they've got a video of somebody throwing a garbage can through a police officer's window, like the police officer car window. It says if it's not guilty, you guys know what to do, basically is what they're saying. And so that chatter is out there, but I hope that we would be able to handle this a little bit differently. This should be a civil case, not a criminal case. The guy was just doing his job and doing what he was trained to do. Sonny, there will be a civil case. But if he's found not guilty here, I will say in the civil case there will probably be a large settlement. I don't think it would go all the way through. There would probably be a large settlement and hopefully some sense of justice in a way there. Not that money makes it right. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think that maybe a civil case is probably the better stand for this because of how this happened. Because this was a in the line of duty thing where there was nothing up until that point that showed that he was trying to kill anyone. There was no evidence. Like the prosecution came out and they tried to say he wanted to be the hero. You know, he was all gung ho. He was doing this. We didn't see that in any evidence. We didn't hear that from any witness. That was not what his experience was. Okay, we have a feed available here in the courtroom. We're going to take that here now. It has audio as well, so that's good. A little bit of hot mic moment. We love a good hot mic here. We've also got Fox 4 is coming in. We're going to switch to Fox 4. The timing's going to be a little bit different on that. And we'll boost the audio there because they're coming in a little bit soft. Okay. I don't feel the race was an issue here. Nothing was brought up about that. That's right, Jenna. In court, it wasn't. There have been issues that raised, I believe, from the family and from people very close to the case, but I don't think those elements were raised in the trial at all. I wonder if his partner, Officer Darch, is there. Last Poet, she is not really his partner. She was the other responding officer. They did go through police academy roughly the same time and were both rookies. She is still on the force, but he resigned 2 years after. And I know Officer Darch said she did not want to be there. She's like, everybody, are we cool?
We can do it real quick. Yeah. Yeah.
Hurry, my
oh,
phone
you want
is
to do it
dying.
at the bench?
That's the judge. That's the judge's voice we're hearing. So the judge is in the room. My hands are sweating, says Ginger. I'm going to go with not guilty. I mean, if I waited this long, I think they're going to come back and say not guilty. That's what I think that the jury will do. Hot mic, hot chocolate, hot pickles. We have it all today, AJ. The hot pickles were an accident, and we deleted that part. But good to have you guys here. I bet he's shaking his boots. How could you not be nervous? I'm anxious. I can feel it. You guys feel it. We've just been here for a week watching this. Let's set up a 2-box here just briefly. I think we might have a stream.
Next 5 en route, Baylor Grapevine, beginning miles 2615.
Okay, that's our police from Grapevine Police. We're monitoring this as well in the background. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. If something goes south, I want to be listening to that police scanner as well when that happens. Insides are shaking. I know. I haven't even. I've had one taquito. The rest of my plate of taquitos has not been touched. Why not guilty? I just think that's what's going to happen. There's judges on the bench. I can see his hair. Let me do one more thing here. Box source 1 is going to be camera 3.
You ready? Court has received information from the jury that they have reached a verdict. Are both sides ready to receive the verdict?
Stage ready, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
To members of the gallery, I have appreciated everything that you have done throughout this trial. We are at a point that a lot of people have been waiting for, but there can be nothing that occurs when I announce this verdict. I have no idea what the verdict is. There can be no outbursts. There can be no demonstrations. There can be no response in this courtroom. If you think you cannot control yourself, step outside and go next door. I will not hesitate to impose sanctions for people who violate this admonition.
He's laying
Does
out the
everyone
law.
understand?
This is about as stern as I've heard
All right.
from him.
Let's bring in the jury.
Our bailiff Brian opening the door for the jury one last time here, as they come in with all the important paper. There's one page that's important. They were given 3 options. They're going to decide if either he's not guilty, or he's guilty of manslaughter, or he's guilty of murder. and the decision's been made. If he is guilty, you'll see the defense ask for a polling of the jury, where they will go through and ask each of the members of the jury if that is their verdict. If he's not guilty, they will probably waive that right. If he's also guilty, there's a chance they may ask for a directed verdict as well, where they go to the judge and basically say, we'd like you to direct the verdict over the jury's verdict.
Everyone may be seated. Good afternoon. Mr. Presiding Juror, it is my understanding that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct? Is it a unanimous verdict? If you'd hand, please, Deputy
Okay.
Nicholson.
It's not
Mr. Dean,
hung.
if you would oh, sorry about that.
Mr. Dean, if you would stand. He's standing already.
Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant Aaron York Dean guilty of the offense of manslaughter as signed by the presiding juror. Does either side desire a poll?
So they're
You may
polling
be
the jury
seated.
now.
Thank you. Ladies
It was
and gentlemen,
manslaughter.
I am going to call your juror number, okay? And the question I am going to ask you is this manslaughter verdict your individual verdict? Juror number 1, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 3, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 4, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 6, is this your verdict? Juror number 14, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 15, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 21, is this your verdict? I'm sorry? Okay. Juror number 31, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 32, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 37, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 38, is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. All right, your verdict will be received and filed, and I'm going to ask you to step back into the jury room for a few minutes. We are now back under the rules that we were under. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves because we will go into the punishment phase. I need to discuss with the lawyers timing on that. So give us just a few minutes and I'll be back in with a few minutes. All rise.
Okay, so we're going straight to punishment phase. The jury's going to be out of the room. Is this when they can make the motion for a directed verdict? Matthew, good to see you in here. You made it here just in time. Matthew's our resident lawyer from Texas, stepping in here to help us out. If you guys like this type of thing, we do this every day. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button on
Everyone may be seated. I need to see the lady
follow
on the
trials
back
all
row.
across the country. The lady on the back
Come up,
row.
please, ma'am.
Somebody's in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
Who, me?
Come on up.
She might get a say at the local county facility.
Can you tell me who you are, please, ma'am?
My name is Hayden Jackson.
And Ms. Jackson, was there a portion of my instructions that you did not understand?
No,
So why were you causing a ruckus at the end when I was talking to the jury?
I wasn't.
Well, it obviously was. You're not allowed to come.
Ooh. So they just cut the audio. I'm not sure why. I really wanted that part. But she's headed back. That was it. She's
To talk to your client, y'all need to talk. When y'all get to a point, let's talk in chambers. All right? Yes, sir. Thank you.
she got kicked out. She's not allowed back in his courtroom unless she's accused of something. But was that the same person? Was that the same person who was making the gestures during the trial? What's happening here? Matthew, fill us in. Yeah, manslaughter. KQD, that isn't how I would have voted, but I'm not on the jury, and I believe we need to support our legal system. Right, they voted, so now he is guilty. That is how our system works. He was innocent until proven guilty. At this moment, he has been proven guilty. And we see him there looking around the courtroom, looking back for the first time. We haven't seen him look back at the gallery before this. Yeah, I want to hear what's going on right now in the courtroom, for sure. They're discussing a date for sentencing. Matthew Harris was right once again. I think I called it on the nose from the beginning. unless, not until. I said it wrong. Sorry about. Thanks for the correction. They go right to sentencing. They did in the Juan David Ortiz trial that we followed last week, because under the law there's an automatic sentence, so there's no option. So on this one there may be a delay, and I believe the jury, Matthew, correct me if I'm wrong, in Texas the jury decides the sentence as well, right, in a separate phase, or is that going to be done right now? So guilty of manslaughter. Glad he got something, even though I believe it was murder. Yeah, he's found guilty. There will be some time served here for sure, but how much we don't know. I think the 2 to 20 years is what he can get. That's correct, and I think also there can be up to about a $10,000 fine. But of that, whatever he's sentenced to, the law is that he has to serve half that time before he's eligible for parole. So if he's sentenced to 20 years, he would get a minimum of 10 years before he's eligible for parole. The defendant can choose whether the punishment is decided by the judge or the jury. It seems that he's chosen to go the jury. Whoa.
Never! 500 years! Give that man 5! Give that man!
I just don't have a comment.
500 years in this country. How many other people?
I will wait for sentencing.
How many of these other folks have walked? They just walked over that girl's body again. They just killed her again.
She's right.
They just killed her again. And then you tell me to be silent.
And she's right.
I will not be silent. A blood cries out for vengeance. And I don't know how
They got a guilty verdict, but not of murder, and there's a lot of anger here.
Yesterday about the bullet coming through the glass, and she had no glass on her hands. That was, he held that in his fist, and they could not.
A lot of anger here. Wow.
That was the difference.
You could feel immediately people
The timing is just a little bit different on this video, so we're hearing her yell in the background of the upper video.
They don't understand. They're not down here every day.
She's going to the FTP slogan.
You know, manslaughter carries 2 to 20. You know, these bonds.
I don't know. She clearly wanted a murder conviction.
And that's something that hadn't happened in Terrence.
She's right. A lot of people don't need Texas.
These folks say that and they didn't rush it. And I'm happy. Not pleased, but I'm happy that they got the manslaughter.
Can you get somewhere with the man?
Wow. So we've got multiple cameras here going outside the courtroom just watching this. This is rough.
I think they're about to toss to me, though.
WFA is that's the talking head that was just coming in. I'm going to turn up the scanner just a little bit. I know Grapevine's a little ways away from Fort Worth. Just the emotion of the moment is it's strong in the hallway.
This is the first time that an on-duty police officer in Tarrant County has been convicted of manslaughter. This is a big, big deal. And so, he is now going to be facing a 2 to 20, and we're going to be going into the punishment phase.
TW, it could be disturbing the peace.
Kind of help us walk through.
Let's see. Wow. Yeah, Long Crime cut their feed immediately. The camera we're seeing right here, this is Fox 4, the feed. The camera's sitting on a bench outside the courtroom right now. Is the woman yelling a relative? We assume she is. She's connected somehow. She's obviously very invested in the decision. I don't think it's a drugs thing, Randy. I think she's just angry. Is there going to be BLM protesting starting again? Possible. I didn't think there would be because it's a guilty verdict, and yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised. They wanted all or nothing. I think they wanted it all. I feel bad for her, but that isn't the way to be heard. Lil Miss, I agree. There are better ways to communicate. I realize there's a lot of anger about a lot of things, whether it's political or in the justice system and everything else. But it's hard to have a discussion at that level for communication. Yeah, we need to take a deep breath. I'm not saying go back to normal. If there are changes that need to be made, we can address them, but we can address them better as a group and, at a lower volume. The lady's pissed. I wonder. That's the American word. Sorry for you UK people on the chat. I wonder if the sentiment is echoed within the community. We might see some demonstrations. We have heard some people that are very frustrated with the process. Can do a quick check on the Twitter to see what's happening there. There's probably going to be a trending hashtag relating to this. So I'm just going to try to see how that organically comes about. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Mrs. R.A., how are you doing? Yes, guilty of manslaughter was the verdict. I'm still eating these. Don't take my taquitos. I see what you're doing. She's eating my taquitos. Lindsay, yes, I have heard that. There's some cultures where grieving is very audible, where it's very loud. It's a grieving process. I don't think that would apply as much. First of all, Atatiana passed away as a result of this years ago. This isn't an initial grieving, and the wailing and stuff that normally comes with the grieving that I'm familiar with happens a lot closer to the event. I think this was anger at the situation, and her words also go towards that. That was anger at the outcome. That she says it was murder, and you're saying it wasn't murder. I think that was the gist of what she said. Yeah, I don't know how I would act in that situation. I have not been in that situation, so I'm trying not to judge too harshly here. But let's see. I'm hoping the courtroom comes back here. We've still got a feed in there, so the cameraman has not broken down the gear. I'm not sure if that means the judge is going to address something here in a minute. We know the jury has been asked to step out for a little bit, which means they might be invited to step back in. It's going to be crazy. Matthew says, here's why I didn't expect a murder verdict. Derek Chauvin was convicted of second-degree murder for killing George Floyd, and that was far more egregious of a killing, in my opinion. Right, I believe that in that case, you have it wasn't a split-second decision, right? It was a prolonged decision, a decision to continue taking an action that could result in someone's death, whereas the end result is the same. A life was taken. I do agree that was be more egregious because of the opportunity and the other input he got from other people that said, "Hey, you're killing him," type of thing. There's no taking back a bullet once that trigger's pulled. The decision was made and it's done, and it's just a split instant. Praying for peace. Don't judge her. Thank you, Kimberly. Going to listen in on WFAA just briefly here.
And he seemed emotional, almost teary-eyed, and just said, I need a moment to gather my thoughts. I need to think before I say anything. Just said more needs to be done. Also talked to Lisa Pamplin. She's a local attorney that ran for judge. She said she's relatively happy with the verdict. Maybe not happy, but content. Content that there is some justice in this case because, as Tanya said just a few moments ago, Aaron Dean's the first officer charged with murder in Tarrant County to stand trial. This has never happened before. You've never gone through this. So now there actually is a verdict, and again, it's manslaughter. That range, as you guys have probably already mentioned, 2 to 20 years. Amber Geiger, convicted of murder, gets 10 years. That's still a punishment that's on the table here. And I think a lot remains to be seen as far as what sentencing plays out here in the next few days as we walk through this. We still haven't seen or heard from Jefferson's family or Dean's family. They haven't left the courtroom, at least not through this main exit, since the verdict was read. We'll keep you updated as we hear from more people. Cynthia.
In the hallways here at the courthouse, there were some who you could hear screaming, some crying. There were some just yelling and not happy with the verdict. Manslaughter, of course, a lesser charge. Aaron Dean was charged with murder. The guilty verdict as far as manslaughter, that shows us that the jury could not come to terms on that charge of murder. So a number of people here in the hallways, I'd say about 30, 40 people here in the hallways, many of them just standing around, a few of them making a commotion, as I mentioned, screaming, yelling about this verdict. But for now, things seem to have quieted down in the hallways for a bit. We will move, of course, into sentencing. We need to find out from the judge just how soon that's going to happen. Steve?
We start off again with opening statements where both sides give their opening statements if they choose, and then they begin with witnesses and then closing arguments, and then again it's given to the jury for them to determine how many years Aaron Dean will spend in prison, 2 to 20. That is what manslaughter requires in the state of Texas. Now, I did see one of the close family members and a family member. They brought them out through where we were in a different way, a back way, and I asked if they wanted to comment. They said no, and that is because, again, the family is still under a gag order. I suspect that they will call some of Atatiana Jefferson's family as character witnesses in the punishments phase, and you can also expect that they are going to bring in family members and character witnesses for Aaron Dean, trying to get him as
so the
as less
reporters
of a
on scene
as
are
they can possibly get for him.
giving us
so
an
you will
update
probably see
of
some
how
of
things
that
are happening
as well.
down there.
You'll see character witnesses,
jump
and then
back over
ultimately
to
the
Channel
family
4.
will get a chance to give impact statements.
None other that I have covered. A lot of emotion, a lot of theatrics, dramatics. Of course,
There will
in
be
the
victim
courtroom, we've been
statements for
bringing
sure.
you that over the last few days. But here we are. The verdict is guilty of manslaughter, and we move now into the sentencing phase to find out, and that's like another mini trial. There will be witnesses who come in, evidence presented, so that the jury can ultimately come to a decision or deliberate once again on a penalty for Aaron Dean. Steve?
Okay.
Escorted out of the courthouse, and so she and a group left. There again, a lot of tight security here as now
Nothing
we
on the
begin
scanner yet.
punishment phase. I think that they will probably take a deep breath and then begin punishment as soon as tomorrow. Cynthia.
Macy Jenkins, who is here, she was in the courtroom, she was in the hallways. It's just been an effort like not any other that I can at least remember, where we've all kind of just worked together to cover this trial.
She's hearing questions in her ear from the studio. We're only getting the feed from the courtroom, so we're missing the studio side of the conversation.
Then he shot at my friend that was on the corner, John Taylor. I've heard this story before. And then he went down the side of the bus and put
Got a guy in the background telling a story about a shooting that he was involved with, where someone else got shot. Not sure what it has to do with this one. He was the one who was praying just prior to the verdict.
Exactly. So it'll be the whole process. I mean, that's one of the. Is that standard in most states, or is this one of the? I mean,
Still a lot of people outside the courtroom there.
This process?
I wouldn't say in most states. I mean, in a lot of states, you don't even have the option to have a jury trial. Most of the time, the judge does the sentencing
for punishment.
For punishment, sorry. But yeah, no, we definitely use juries to decide sentences all the time, especially because it's 12 people and they have to be unanimous. And you're hoping that some of what you say resonates with those people, and then they can kind of come to a consensus. It just kind of feels fair, you know?
Okay. Crazy. Preacher man in the background. Yeah, I can hear him going. Talking about something about a bus driver. I believe people are still in the courtroom. I believe these individuals were not in when it happened. They heard from outside. She's wearing a turtleneck. Is it cold in Texas? Is it that cold? There are people that show up just to be on the news. I've filmed for the news before. That definitely happens. About the cop in another incident. Okay, so we're losing that feed right now. We'll just stick with WFAA.
Deviate from that if they want to, but yeah, definitely you're going to hear from the families, both sides, and it's going to be emotional. It's going to be hard to hear, and it's going to be very intense.
Yeah, that I have no doubt. And somebody's asking, is he going to jail tonight? Yes. He should be. I mean, that is the way this works. Is once you are convicted, you are taken into custody.
Body camera.
And that's what happened in the Geiger case, jacket. And that's what happened in the other. And that's what happened in any case.
And it doesn't look like an officer, but it looks like he's wearing a body cam.
Sorry, I'm also trying to listen to what's going on the regular air in case they try to take me live again. So I've got I'm listening to different streams, and it's kind of like a little disconcerting. So I'm trying to do multiple things here at once. And typically, how long would you expect this to last?
I would be surprised if they were able to wrap it up in one day. I would think at least it would go to Monday. Just a little bit
here. We'll watch the feed as we can. Actually, we go back to this other source. Because we do have a camera on in the courtroom again. So still, something might still happen out of the courtroom. We're just going to watch for that. Texas recovered. My son was wearing sweaters in our Zoom meeting this morning, and he's in Santa Marcos, Texas, more south of Dallas-Fort Worth. So yes, it's colder north of Texas. Verdict was reached. It was manslaughter, and conviction of manslaughter, which means 2 to 20 years is the sentence. But that will come in the sentencing phase. That will begin with basically it will look like another trial from the outside perspective. But there will be witnesses. Both sides will present evidence. And it will be the sentencing phase, which I believe the jury will be responsible for, this same jury. So they're not done. So they get to decide. Now what they decide, if they go on the lower end, we'll know that they barely got to manslaughter. If they go on the upper end, we'll know that they were almost at murder. But that'll be insightful when it comes to that point. DMB says... watch the abbreviations for the Pickle News Station. That could be a problem. Well, it's par for the course today, DMB, unfortunately. I'd be surprised if it was 20 years. I agree. I'm not sure if they'll get to the maximum on this one. Little Miss says no, sentencing is not decided by the jury unless it's capital punishment. I heard that they could. Let's see. Let's just go. Let's just take the in-camera one, the in-courtroom one. I heard that they could have the sentence done by the jury. Matthews, is the jury able to decide the sentence in this case? Loomis, in Texas, the jury can decide the punishment if elected by the defendant. So if he wanted a jury of his peers to decide, that would work. I wonder if he would have had he opted for a bench, a judge basically to decide instead of a jury, a bench trial. Atatiana's family should have a spokesperson immediately address the media and calling for peace and closure. I agree. I think it would be nice to have that come out on that front. He opted for the judge to decide. He could have chose the jury. Okay, so the judge is going to decide the penalty phase. Why was the jury pulled out? That's my question. Why were they asked to step out for a moment? And then why would they be coming back in? I guess it would be the question if they have nothing further to do. Hey guys, time to leave. A man has to know his limits. We'll see you, Richard. We're just watching to see if there's information about the timing of the sentencing phase, if that's going to begin immediately, if that starts tomorrow, or if that's going to have a delay like we saw in like Darrell Brooks' trial. This would solve all the problems in the world. Pickles, hot chocolate, Coke, and a smile. That would do it. Courtney, thanks for being here, says, if the jury is passing sentence, and since the jury probably heard her, how do you think they may or may not affect her sentencing? It could. The jury should not be aware of what's happening outside in this, but I don't think they would sequester them all the way through the sentencing phase. I don't see that happening, but if they know that there's an angry mob outside and you're going to pass judgment on what's going to happen to this person, yeah, does that change your vote? Does it make you rethink what you're going to decide? And that's an issue. This will also strengthen the civil suit, would it not? I do think that the more community outrage there is, and the lighter the sentence, the more likelihood the civil suit would settle for a larger amount. I think they're inversely proportional, or directly proportional, I guess, in this case. DB was hard to watch all the way through. It was, but at the same time, I couldn't tear my eyeballs away from it. You know, I wanted to bleach my eyes and plug my ears. At the same time, I wanted to watch more. A little bit of a guilty pleasure there. I was always hoping for the gag. Tag says, my guess is the jury was pulled out to keep from being tampered with if they have to determine the sentence. If not, probably to protect them. The judge asked the jury to step out so the judge could discuss some housekeeping matters, non-evidentiary, with the attorneys, probably to determine how long they needed. We will hear how long he gets. That sentence, I'm sure, will be read in open court. I don't think it's happened yet, Jake. You could hear that lady in another county. She was pretty loud. They probably did hear her inside the courtroom. That's why I don't ever want to be on the jury. And it's tough, but it's a civic duty. And if your number comes up, basically, if you don't want to be in a jury, here's what I'll do. And Matthew Harris is our resident lawyer. He is also a YouTuber, and he has a YouTube channel where he teaches you things about what to do if you don't want to be on the jury. So please give him a quick follow. Pop over on his channel and check that out. It may help you not be on a jury. But I think what do they say? Avoiding is legal, evading is illegal. Wouldn't care as a juror if I upset everyone in America. If they're guilty, they're guilty. If they're not, then they're not. Okay. Here's the link for thank you, Abby, for Matthew Harris's his channel on YouTube. Do give him a like and a follow. He's got some great stuff over there. Great content. I think he just released a video today, Matthew, because I got a notice while I was live during the stream that one of your videos went live. So it's good to see that you can work while you're here with us as well. Isn't purposely making yourself look bad illegal? No. Say, for instance, Tom, if you're in the jury pool and they're asking questions of the group, you could be very eager to answer every single question, and be like, "Yeah, I want to be on the jury." Every question. I wouldn't say, "Yeah, I want to be on the jury." If you don't want to be on the jury, you don't want to lie, but you could make yourself stand out to make people think, "I don't know about that one," and hope one of the sides uses a strike against you. We teach other things too. Remember the legal booby traps video? You've got some great stuff on there. Do go check out that channel, everybody. It's got some incredible videos. Matthew, hopefully here by the end of the week, we'll be able to have him live on a stream. Maybe tomorrow. What's your schedule, Matthew? We'll have to talk because my Saturday changed. I have to shift. I was going to do a live stream with you and test some stuff on Saturday, but we might have to do it another day. Shame on me. Do not subscribe to Matthew the lawyer and get great legal commentary for deeper understanding. Do not subscribe. He's a dirty, dirty round earther. Right. He does believe the earth is round, among all his many other faults. But Matthew is great. We love him here. Color Me Abstract says, my wife wants to know the hot chocolate you like. So Mrs. Abstract wants to know the hot chocolate I like. I will tell you. Let me put a little link here in chat. This is the best hot chocolate ever. This is an Amazon link, so you can order it anytime you want, but I would recommend looking around for it. I think you can find it cheaper than what I have here. Because this is in bulk, really. There you go. That is Steven's Gourmet Hot Cocoa. The link is in chat. That is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more. If you do use that link, all it means is I get a little bit of money from Amazon if you buy it from them. But it is the best hot chocolate I've ever had in my life. And when I fill my mug with hot chocolate, and I do fill my mug, why did it go black? That's bad. There we go. When I fill my True Crime Addict mug, which is invisible some days, with hot chocolate, it is with Steven's Hot Cocoa. But you've got too many of me on screen. One is enough, right? One is enough. As a former bounty hunter, they never wanted me on a jury. Why do you think that is? I don't know, Mutt. I don't know. You should be like, hey, I'm good at this. I'll take care of the problem. What was the reaction inside the courtroom when the verdict was read? And we heard that there was one person that caused what the judge said was an outburst. He called her up from the back row, and said, hey, ma'am, is there something about my instruction you didn't hear? My instruction to not have an outburst? And she's like, no. So why do you make an outburst? She says, I didn't, was her response. And then it got quiet because they killed the mics. Milk or water-based for hot chocolate? That one is water-based. And it's delicious. I normally would be like, I'm all for milk. I'm a big milk fan. But that one is water-based, and it is fantastic. It's amazing. It's good enough that you can give those out as Christmas gifts to your neighbors, and they will love you forever. That is really, it's fantastic hot chocolate. The outburst was how I knew there were activists in the audience, says Culver. So I think that same, let's see, it says the sentencing is going to be tomorrow. Just checking on a little update here on Twitter. Let's see what we have. Okay, we've got a verdict. That was in. We knew that already. Sentencing tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for Aaron Dean. The judge will not go back on the record today. Unclear if Dean was taken immediately into custody, which would be standard following conviction. And they're using a hashtag Atatiana Jefferson, which which we'll probably keep an eye on here a little bit just to see what's happened as far as the anger goes. Okay, so here's what we have. Tomorrow morning, that's when we do our regular show. We start at 9 a.m. Eastern time, so half an hour after we start our show, we're going to have the sentencing. So we'll probably take that live. It won't take very long, I don't think. It sure didn't in Juan David Ortiz, also in Texas, so a similar trial. Yeah, it is good hot chocolate. 63 Canadian. You got to see it. It's four containers of hot chocolate, and it's fantastic. But you may be able to find it at Food Lion, like Michelle says. You can buy it at Food Lion. It's much cheaper. Most food products, if you're buying on Amazon, are pretty expensive because they have a shipping cost that's pretty high. But you can get it much cheaper if your local store carries it. Are women preferred on juries? Katrina, in some cases, yes. If you look at the Juan David Ortiz trial, I think they had, 8 women, 4 men on that one. And that was an interesting, because he was killing women. I mean, so that may have played into it. But probably since they're smarter. Who said that? Daniel. They're preferred because they're smarter. Daniel, you're a wise man. You'll go far in this world. And Katrina approves. Let's see. What is that in Denmark time? Marie, all I can tell you right now, it is 4:15 where I'm at, and I'm gonna go live at 9 tomorrow morning. So we have to do the math there. I don't know where you're at. I think it's 6 or 7 hours. You're 6 or 7 hours ahead of me, if I remember right. Do they ever not take people directly into custody? I really don't know. Not sure. I've never heard of, especially like a murder conviction, not taking someone into custody. When did the shooting occur, says Debbie? This was, I think, 2019 or the end of 2018. It's been a few years. It's been 2 or 3 years. Dodie says, I've never been on an actual jury and may get called soon. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Yes, especially if you serve. If something would be a problem to you, if seeing gory pictures, would be a problem, let them know. You might not be on a murder trial. You might be on some other trial that's completely tame and funny. But Dodie, go over to Matthew's channel. He has 2 videos. One of how to not serve on a jury and one what to do as a juror. I think they're both on there, or maybe they might be wrapped into one video. Is everyone safe at the courthouse? I believe so, AJ. I think so. There's the news probably would be showing it if there was a commotion. That's the sort of thing that gets eyeballs on the views, and that's it. Kara says, has he had time served? Will he get time served? That'll be in the Senate scene, Kara. At the end of this next phase, which starts tomorrow, and it might be done tomorrow, he'll probably get credit for any time served, however many days he's spent in jail, and that will probably be counted. That's normal. Phone is dying. See you all later. See you, Katrina. We'll see you tomorrow. Anne got her mug. Awesome. Did you get the pink one or the black one? I forget. This is the light blue. Love this mug. It's the only item of merch I sell. They let the Theranos lady have her baby first before she goes to prison. Okay, so that would be an extenuating circumstance, AJ, for sure. But I don't think for him they would do that. Tell you what, if you want to serve, you never get summoned. I would love to just be a floating juror. Can that be like my job? I'd like to be a juror, full-time juror. KQD says, looking from Davis County toward Weber County here in Utah, I'm seeing blue sky. Very welcome after the snow. You guys have been hit with snowstorms in there. Jenna got her pink mug yesterday. Anne got the light blue. I love the light blue as well. If you get the pink and the light blue together, you can use them for gender reveal parties. That's cool, huh? Mike says, recovered addict sat on a jury 7 years ago. I was for sure they wouldn't pick me since I'm in the media. Wrong. Ended up as a 4-person rewarding experience. Oh man, you led the charge. That's awesome, Mike. What type of trial was that? As far as serious, what was the nature of the crime? If you don't want to reveal exactly what it was, that's fine. But just in general. Weather Watch says, recovery addict, oddly enough, this shooting happened 10 days after Officer Amber Geiger was sentenced for shooting a man in Dallas when she walked into the wrong apartment thinking it was hers. So that was back to back, basically. Oh, man, Madib. A friend was murdered by his wife in Texas, convicted of first-degree murder, and got 10 years probation. Anything is possible. Got first-degree murder and only got probation. Wow. DMB says, still waiting on my light blue. Hope it arrives here soon, DMB. I admit I'm a conspiracy theorist who believes that the Earth is actually round, or maybe mildly oblong, about the middle, right? It's a little bit fatter. It was a drug case, distributing and maintaining common nuisance. It's awesome. Okay, so here's what we got. We're done for today. We are finished with the trial for today. We will start tomorrow. We're going to do a live stream in the morning. If there are any police chases, if you like police chases, we do police chases too here. There is one on my channel. If you look back, there's one that has a little picture, and on the thumbnail it says "Dog bites the wrong guy." That is an amazing police chase. If you have not seen that, please go back and watch that. We do have the dog bite from three angles, basically, as three news helicopters were rotating around the scene. Yes, we can ship to the UK for sure, Marsh. We've also sent some to New Zealand and I think Australia as well. So we can do that. It's on the cup goes through eBay. The purchase goes through eBay, which doesn't really change anything for you. It just means that I don't make any money off of it. So the mug's available. I'm not sure if Abby, can you put the link? Abby is our link mod. She does fantastic at that. If you can put the link in chat for the mug, if anyone wants to get it, that would be great. Actually, recent studies have shown the Earth is a cube, says Mutt. So there's a new one I had not heard before. Let's see. Did they catch the right guy on that police chase? I think no. I really think no. And you should watch it. There's a point where the chase itself is sort of boring. It's pretty much straight. There's not any crashes. There's no pit maneuvers. They don't do any spike strips. What happens is the driver ends up getting a flat tire on the front left tire. I'm not sure how. But there's also a female in the car with him and possibly more people in the car, but we don't see that in any of the videos. Yeah, I'm getting a warning about the data. Why is it stop? Okay, it's still working. Okay, sorry, the internet's having some trouble. Anyway, the chase that happens, the foot chase on is where it gets really interesting because the guy jumps out of the car, the driver runs into the liquor store, and another guy who's walking away from the liquor store already. I hear you, Debbie. We'll get there. A guy who's walking away from the liquor store already just continues walking, and the cops come up and they sick the dog on him, and the dog just goes full chew toy on him, and it's bad. It's really bad. And they end up bringing him out. But the guy who was running from the car was in a T-shirt and jeans, and they catch two guys in hoodies. And I'm not saying it's impossible for the guy in the T-shirt to put on a hoodie, but it doesn't look like the same guy. They got two guys in hoodies and a girl. So yeah, sorry, I did spoil it just a tiny bit, but it's worth watching, Gordon. It really is. Go back and take a look at that. Let me know what you think in the comments if you think they got the right people, because it does not look like the right person to me on either one. He took someone else's jacket. He could have, and if he did, he would be the guy that was in back of the store that they got later on that was hiding. And that would make more sense. But I hear all you guys with the alternate shapes for the Earth. It's pretty funny. I saw that they did catch the guy. Pauline, I've seen that story, and I've seen the footage, and the footage I've seen doesn't match up. It doesn't match up with the driver. It's not the same guy in my opinion. Anyway, definitely the guy who got bit was not the driver, and I don't believe he was even in the car. You can go back and watch those three angles. You can see that whole area, that shopping mall, and there's no way for him to get to that point without crossing that parking lot that you can see the whole time. And he never crossed the parking lot. It's just 7 seconds after the driver sprinted into the liquor store, he was already 20 feet down the sidewalk walking with the tall boy away from the store. So let's see. I was in a meeting. If I saw it, it would have said something, but I can't be a mod. Was something inappropriate? I do apologize. I have not been following this chat very well today. It's been really fast, and I've been watching what's been happening on the screen. If there was something that happened back there that is not right, those of you that have the burner phone number, please let me know. Let me know what happened. We'll try to make it right. Obviously, we don't want somebody to be attacked on here and something not happen. So tag Ashley. Please reach out to me. Let me know what happened. We can make it right, and I can fix it. Sounds good. All right, so with that, it's time to end for the day. How do I copy the link for the eBay mug? So what you can do is you can let's see right here. You can just click on it. If you scroll up in chat, you can just find where Abby posted that link, and you can just click on it on your computer. You hover your mouse over it and click on it, and it should open a new window that has the link to the mug. And it's available in 5 colors. Make sure you choose the one you want. And it's a fun mug. It's really cool. And I'd like to see it going all over the world. There it is, right at the bottom of the chat. Click on that link, and it will get you there. The Earth is the shape of a pickle with a flat orbit. There's one I can get behind, TW. All right. Have a great rest of your day, all. All right, we're going to be back. We're going to be back in the morning. If you haven't had your fill of legal content today, we have more over on the Matthew Harris Law PLC channel. Go to the following link. For example, how to avoid jury duty or avoid accidentally getting married, both of which might be a problem, depending on your outlook. For some, that might be the solution. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. We've had several live streams today. One of them had a big accident on. I'm sorry. You won't see that on the replay because it's against YouTube's terms of service. Thanks for sort of sticking with me through that surprise video from another courtroom. Anyway, have a great night. Please, when you go home tonight, hug the people you love. Smile at somebody, make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Thanks.